Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Dave Noodlez. We are on the TYPE88 Show, where we talk to people about how they turn their dreams into reality. And today we have a special guest with us. This guy defines the word dreamer. He is out there constantly making things happen and helping other people make their dreams happen. So we're going to be talking about his brand, his camp, his events, and all the amazing things. I'm surprised he doesn't have. He's a triplet, and they all look the same because this guy's out here really making it happen. You would think he
Hey,
has multiple versions of himself, but I just want to welcome my guy to the Type 88 show.
what's up?
Feliciano.
What's up? What's up?
What's up, man?
Yeah, I'm in the house, man. Thank you for having me, D. It's good to be here.
So, for
Long
anyone who
time
doesn't
coming.
know, what what city are you from?
I'm born and raised in Brooklyn. I'm a Brooklynite through and through. Lived in Brooklyn all my life until I made my move to Europe, which we talk about later. But yeah, born in lived in Brownsville, lived in East New York, lived in Flatbush, lived downtown Brooklyn. Born in Women's Hospital, like that. You can't get more Brooklyn than that. It's not.
That's what's up. Jay Z heard about your story, and that's when they made "I'm So Brooklyn." But that's real, man. So,
It is.
how was growing up in Brooklyn, and how did it influence you and inspire you to get to everywhere? You're involved with a lot of amazing things right now.
Yeah, it was dope. Like I loved my life in Brooklyn. Like we lived in East New York. I got to see a lot of things at a young age, and then we moved down like into the Church Avenue area. Like I have two older brothers, and I felt like my mother moved us out of there. Like you're the last one left. I was still young. We moved out of there into Church Avenue and McDonald Avenue in that area, and like 79 maybe. I was at no, even before then, like even 76, 74. So we was in East New York before that. So like, my brothers was already running around and running the streets already. And I was like the last of the Mohegans. I was like, I tell her that this day, like, she moved us out into that neighborhood, just kind of changed the environment, even though my brothers always went back around the way. But I was too young for that. So I adapted to my environment where I was as I grew up, and we moved on and on from there in Brooklyn. But it was a dope experience. I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. Like I rep BK everywhere I go, no matter where I'm in the world.
It's just so important to just know your roots, and then to even go back there and just you could just pull so much inspiration from your childhood and
Yeah,
your parents and growing up with the foods, the things that were around you, schools. So that's it's something, just and that's great that you're so connected to it still, and you
no,
really hold it
definitely.
near and dear. It means a lot.
For instance, like I'm like I'm in a process too of like I'm jotting it down. It's like a lot harder than I even expected. You think you just write down your memoirs, but I'm writing a book on my story, and I'm like at 7 years old now. So I actually went around to East New York where I lived. I remember all of the stuff that I used to do back then, and like I took pictures so this way, to be for the book, and everything, of course, has changed since then. Um, and I just remember different things. Like there was this garage, right? I guess it's about a story and a half. One of those parking garages that are outside, and that was connected to an abandoned building. And so, my older brothers, they were like in gangs and they were gang affiliated and stuff like that. And so I used to hang out with the little brothers, the younger brothers, right? And that abandoned building, and we would run through it, right? Like if it was some kind of like, well, if we're running, we'll go through here, and you had to know that you had to skip a step. If not, you would hit the step and go down and go onto the roof. And from the roof, it jumped onto the backyard into a mattress. It was crazy, like training, like, and this is like stuff just that we did. And it's so funny because my life has changed so much. And not that I might be mischief, got into mischief and stuff like that, but I'm not a bad person per se.
Yeah,
You live your life and you're learning as you grow up what's right and wrong. My mother always went to church. And once that point came where I wasn't going to church anymore, you start running around. It's like, all right, I'm older now, so on and so forth. But that's what we was doing, and this is like 8, 9 years old. So it's an amazing thing to be able to come from that, survive that. Anything could have happened at any time, like even just being the brother of someone else, and to be able to survive that and be able to be where I am today, and like be able to pass on information and help others. It's just a blessing. It's a great place to be.
telling me, man. I know a few people that have been associated with someone and they just got in trouble. They were in jail several years. just because that was their, you know how we have the top 8 on MySpace back in the day, but like that was their top 8 back in the day.
Right.
It was just the people they grew up with, their family, people
Yeah.
that were like their first, you know, and some of them didn't make it out. Some of them had to take a break because they were locked up and stuff. So I know some people that have, you know,
So
been
you
in
you
miserable
understand what it is.
situations, and
Yeah.
some of
So
them are out now. But yeah,
it's
it's
a great
definitely.
thing. And I never had to experience like the worst and like, go to jail and stuff like that, some bullpen therapy, but that was enough to be able to like, nah, this is for the birds. Like, nah, you know? So it's just a good thing.
My friend Stefan, he always says when you find people that are interested in what you're doing, it helps you stay out of trouble. It helps you, you know, you find a tribe that loves making beats,
Yes.
and you're kind of you're distracted in a positive way.
Yes.
So
Yes.
at what age did you kind of find something that maybe helped you be distracted in a positive way, or something that you were able to really zone in on to
That's
stay out of it?
interesting. That's an interesting question because growing up, like I wanted to be a scientist. Like, I had like a, what is this? That's no, not, yeah, stethoscope. And I would look at it, I would kill ants and put them on the slides and watch them and do this kind of stuff. So the science thing didn't work out. I enjoyed doing that, but then didn't do that. Like, I did okay in school, but I was like an average student. School wasn't really for me. So, I hung out with friends and kind of did the same thing, the blunts in the 40s back then, the $5, you could do a lot. And in my era. And then from there, like, I was like, oh, I want to, get into modeling. I wanted to, like, I would see this stuff. I wanted to get into modeling. And there was this one guy, he was like, well, light skin models are a dime a dozen. Like, just shot me down. And I was like, really? I was like, all right. And then I was like, I'm going to do this. And I just like started doing what I was doing. I started like, a friend of mine helped me. He's like, sent me to Barbizon, Phil. He sent me to Barbizon. It was like his modeling school. I didn't know, but he was a good friend of mine. He's like, yo, Leslie, you should try this modeling school. So I paid like $1,500 or whatever it was that I paid for it. I was like, and then realizing later on, I was like, I didn't need this. It was just like, but you learn from there. So I learned by trial and error. And, then I started taking pictures and started meeting photographers and so on and so forth. And then I could see as it was getting better and better. Like the photos would get better and better. And I was like, oh, wow, I see, the different looks. And what was crazy is, as far as you're saying, like inspiration, in that business, everyone has a different opinion. So one agency would be like, you should look like this. The other one would look like this. And then I was like, wait a minute, I need to look like the way I feel right and present myself that way. This is my look. So because I found myself in the beginning, tap dancing all over to be looking like how different opinions wanted me to look, because that's what fit them. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute, I got to find my niche. So then I just started doing my own thing. And then I was like, I got to hit Europe. That's it. And that's what the whole thing, because I would watch this stuff and I was like, I got to do runway shows. So I did a couple shows here. Remember, back in the days, there was a club on 14th Street called the Palladium. It's now part of NYU, owns that whole set right there. So, I got to do some shows. Yeah, I got to do some shows in there. And like, I knew the models that were actually working. I aspired to like, damn, I want to work like them. They were like on the Newport boxes. And back then there was the hair just for men, like Brett Walker's I would say a friend, and he gave me some tutelage back then. He was like, yo, you'll make it, very inspiring. He was hosting on BET. And there was another guy he was an older model. He was working all the time and he was light skinned. So that inspired me. And I was like, oh, I know that I could do it. And he told me, how old are you? And I was like really young. He's like, don't worry about it. You got time. You're going to work. Don't worry about it. And I took heed to that. And, I just like kept on pursuing. And then I was like, I want to go to Europe. So that's where I would say that was the inspiration I had. But I've always been like, kind of always on my own, watching other people and just seeing different directions, what could work for me. And then like make something my own. I don't like following trends. I don't mind setting or flipping a trend a certain way,
And I think that's why we're here talking, because I'm cut from a similar cloth. And so at what age did you decide to go to Europe? Because
I was 20. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
That's a dream for a lot of people. They, and I know people that are still late 30s to 40s still saying it and having it. So at what age did you make that jump?
I was when I finally decided, I was like, it was like 6 months before that. I was just getting ready to turn 24. So I was 23 at the time. I was like, I'm going to Europe right? And my best friend at the time, he had his own limousine business, but we were like working, and you know, he had that just for men look, and you know, he had the features, dark skin cat, he had to be another thing. We're gonna go to Europe and we're gonna kill the runway shows and that. A couple months right before like March, we were supposed to leave April, May, June, that summer, right? That summer 90. And he's like, yo, Les, man, because he was going to get rid of his limousine business and we were going to bounce. He's like, yo, Les, man, I'm not going. I was like, what? So now, you know, the idea that you're going with someone that alleviates a lot. Like, you know, you're going with somebody you know into the strange land, you know? So I was like, fuck that, I'm going. I didn't know how. I had no idea. I said, but I'm going. I had no money, but I'm going.
Wow.
And I made that decision. I met this girl from Juilliard, and she was at a hair show, right? So she was going to dance flamenco in Spain. She was like, why don't you come? Like, we were dating for a little bit. She said, why don't you come? I was like, why Spain? That's not like a fashion capital. Like, that's the last thing I was thinking of. I was thinking more like Milan, London, Germany, you know, something like this, you know, and Spain. And I said, well, ask your, you know, teacher if he has some, you know, contacts. Well, supposedly she did, and he had. Comes out, D, to find out when I get there, she lied. She just gave me a list of agencies that were there. And mind you, I got there like in August. Europe is shut down. Spain was shut down until September. So everything was closed. And mind you, this is the best part of the story. I left with a one-way ticket and $600. And yeah, that was, and to this day, I have to say it's the best lie that a woman has ever said to me. I maximized it.
Yeah, so you find yourself in Europe. Things aren't as open as you hope.
I find myself in Europe with no place to stay, $600 and a one-way ticket and no winter clothes. Like I had no idea. I go, it gets cold here. Like I'd never been anywhere. I'd been to you know, Canada with my mother when I was a child. Like don't even remember really. And
when I think Spain, I think it's hot. But you said it got cold.
So it was just crazy. And then on top of that, I get there and she's like, I'm celibate now. Like,
Wow.
But mind you, when I get to the airport and she says this to me, it's nothing but beautiful women. I'm like, really? So, but I'm like, wow. You know, and for me, like, you know, everybody spoke Spanish on my mind. Like, I was like, oh, I'm just around a bunch of Puerto Ricans, you know.
Wow.
So, yeah, I had never been anywhere. So I was like, oh, okay. I said, and just beautiful women everywhere, just all different types. And I was like, all right, cool. So, you know, that I found a place. She found a place for me. I stayed with her for a little bit, then I found a place. And the guy I was rented the room. Now the guy, summer was over, so the guy came back and they let me stay on the couch. And you know, the guy moved out and I ended up staying there. So I spent my $600 with that. And then after, like I had to get money. And so I started giving out pamphlets on the street and I would make money this way. And it was just crazy, the progression. And I started just meeting people, D. And yeah, one thing just led into another. Like I met this girl, she gave me 6 months left on the gym that she had. So she left, a Venezuelan girl, she left. And then I started going to the gym. And then when I'm in the gym, I'll be lab in front of the mirror while I'm working out. So I was different. So I'm this guy. And now mind you, this is 1990. So Black and brown people have been very few, maybe 20 years since Franco has died. There's a 90, maybe 30 years. So I would see these different looks that I would get in the gym, on the train, people like staring like you saw something, you know, it's just so different. Yeah. And so the next thing you know, like once I get in the gym, I meet some people and I become background for this girl that's like Jane Fonda. And I'm doing like aerobic steps in the background. So yeah, and it just starts there, and I started doing more stuff after that.
I always encourage anyone that has a plan, and then if they're going with someone, yeah, it may not apply in all situations,
right?
If it's a normal time of the night, and you feel you're going to a safe place, you know, you're going to an open mic.
Right.
In your case, you went across the country, several thousand miles away.
Right. I had to cross the pond.
But what I love about it, you didn't let someone's inability to come affect your goal.
Yeah.
sometimes that happens. We're like,
Yeah.
oh, well, we're gonna go to this event, and we're gonna meet all these people and network, and I'm gonna give my demo to this guy, and then it's like, oh well, oh he can't, my best friend can't come. All right, I'm gonna just stay home. But
Right.
like, what if you went? You saw what happened.
Mm-hmm.
You're a result of someone that was like, all right, you can't come. All right, I gotta figure it out.
Yeah, and sure enough, I did. He dropped me off at the airport too.
Wow, and then all you did was figure it out. That's kind of I kind of like look at life that way. It's like every day, it's like let's figure it out. All right,
Yeah.
this shit sucks right now. Okay, we got to figure it out.
Yep.
Oh, I'm hungry. Okay, got to figure it out.
Exactly.
And
And that's what it is. It's a learning process.
yeah, and you just put, and it was like going to a new school, but probably in such a new way because you're an adult, but you're not too much of an adult where you have all these responsibilities. Maybe
Yes.
you have to, you're locked in somewhere. You
Mm-hmm.
still had a free, you're an age of kind of still being free, but still had a hustler's mentality and the spirit to get up and get it, and you've just
Yeah.
kept that going ever since.
I literally have, like, like I spoke to you later, that's like 30 years now. Like it's, and I when I reflect on it, I'm even like, oh shit, like you did some stuff, like, and then like there's a lot of stuff, like I didn't set out to the dance stuff, like we'll get to, but I dance. I'm a club kid from New York. That's what I did. I, like, in the 80s, I've been to the world, Save the Robots, Red Parrot, all that stuff. I did all of that in the 80s. And so I was a club kid that, danced while I was here. So I figured when I got there also, I've been like, they do go-go dancing in a club. I would have my normal clothes on and just go off. So that was a way that I made money too. So I got known like that also, excuse me. And that helped. But you know what really did it, D? So after, like, some months went by, I once I got into that TV show doing the aerobics, I was like, okay, when I'm in the TV show, let me see what else can go on. So I started walking around the television station and I saw this program. It was like an MTV show. I was like, oh, they put me on. So I did it like twice. But it was like, the kids, some of them like were 20, 19, 17, I was kind of older for it. But I did look younger at the time. But I was like, I can't be here 20 something hours, 17 hours for like $60. It was like no dough, but it was something to do. Like I had none but time on my hand, but finding out everything.
Yeah, yeah.
So I stopped doing the show about after 2 episodes. And there's this area that I hang out in Madrid. And I saw one of the girls from the show. She's like, hey, are you doing the marathon? Are you going to do the marathon and dance? I was like, what marathon? She breaks it down. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it and I'm going to win. Dave, I danced 10 hours and I won the marathon.
Wow.
Straight, nonstop.
Wow.
All I needed was a partner. And I got this girl. She was a friend of mine. Actually, I was friends with her parents. She was about 16, 17. I said, look, I just need you not to stop dancing. Can you do that? And she was like, yeah. I was like, we're going to win. Just don't stop.
And this was in Madrid?
This is in Madrid. And I told her that. I said, don't stop. You don't stop, I guarantee you we win. Just like that.
Wow.
And sure enough, we won. And you know what I won? A round trip ticket and $600.
Wow. So it just was like,
the universe has just been on my side for the longest.
They're like, I see you working, and you just got replenished, like you were playing a video game, and you got your lives back. You were down to like one coin in Sonic, and then
yeah, and literally on top of that, I had to leave the country. And before I saw her, and I didn't even know what the prize was and anything like that, I was like, I gotta leave the country. So my mind is like, all right, I'll get on a bus. It's inexpensive. I'll get on a bus. I'll go to Portugal, get my passport stamped, and come back. Because at that point, you could be there 6 months. Now I think it's like you can be in a country 3 months, maybe 2 months. Before it was 6 months before you had to leave. So that was my plan. Bus ride to Portugal, which is right there. That's the north of Spain. So right there across the border, come back. I saw her, went that. I came back. They put me in the Hilton for 2 weeks here in New York when I won. Came to my mom's house after that, had the $600. After about 4 months, I was like, I felt like I left the guys with the same blunt and the same 40 in their hands. I went back to Europe.
Wow.
I said, I'm not doing this.
I think it's special once you get a taste of following your dream.
Yes.
When you kind of go back to like, I compare certain things to like fast food and home cooking, right? Like you had a taste, like the home cooking is the dream, and
yes,
like the life that you're walking in your purpose, and then you felt it, and then when you kind of you had to go back to the old food. Nothing wrong with people, and it's not about cutting people
Exactly.
out, but you kind of knew the right setting to be in
Yeah,
to be
definitely.
propelling.
I knew I wanted more. Like, there was more for me out there. And like, just to get, like you said, to your point, like I got that taste. And I already believed in myself. I believe in what I do. I say something, I put it into the universe and it happens. Like, that's just the way I am. And I believe that. So this kind of reiterated on that. I like naturally kind of flowed with like what I feel. And it's all trial and error. It works, cool. If it doesn't, that's cool too, because that's life. You're figuring it out, like you said earlier. But I just knew I was like, I'm going back. Like I stayed here for a little bit. Like I said, I stayed 3 months. I'm like, nah, I'm going
Wow.
back. Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. Like Madrid treated me really, really good. Like I could say Europe, my time there, even though I felt racism, I got chased by guys, and they try to get me and all this. I know all of that, but I persevered, and like I got to do so much. And going back, like more things just happened and more doors open. I met my ex-wife at the time, and we dated and got together, and that was a beautiful thing. Got a beautiful child out of that. And then I got into TV,
Wow.
Telecinco, Channel 5 in Spain, which is the Verasconi station from, and it's in Spain. So, and well, it's based in Italy, but this was the version in Spain, and that was the station where I was doing the aerobics and won the competition on.
Wow.
And yeah, and then full circle, I became a choreographer. Yeah, and then I was like, "Oh, you want to pay me for this?" I'm like, "All right." So it kind of developed into that,
Wow.
and it was great, and I got to do that, and then that opened more doors, and I got a lot of hate behind it. It was like, "Oh no, because your wife this and your wife that." I was like, my wife was such a perfectionist, a professional. Like she would tell me something if something wasn't right. She'd tell me. I catch an attitude, but she'd know when I was doing filler steps.
Wow.
I have to give her that. So I got to experience that and feel the heat of hate. But I didn't worry about any of that. I was just tunnel vision and doing what I needed to do. So that was a beautiful experience too. And what proved that it wasn't my wife. After that, I did 2 other shows where I was a choreographer that had nothing to do with my wife
Yeah.
because of the work.
Yeah. Yeah. It's when you got a purpose, you got a purpose, and this,
Yeah.
we meet great people along the way, and it does open doors in new places. But if it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Yeah.
You were dancing, and
Yeah.
shout out to everyone who gives us platforms. But when you're meant to do something, you just kept finding a way. You
Yes.
literally danced for 10 hours. That's rare.
And doors would open, like the ways would find themselves. It was just how that was, like, because I never set out to dance, see? And I had a 30-year career just living off dance, literally.
Wow.
So like, for that to happen, that's a true blessing. Like, now I understand that's my purpose, and I understood that that was meant for me to do within all that time. But I never set out to do that at all. I really wanted to be a model. I could say that I was a choreographer. Like I lived off choreography, nothing else, and dance, period. But yeah, modeling, I just did a few things, and I got to do like a real show. Like, I'm the type of person where if I get to do it, I don't need to do it in abundance. I got to do it. That fulfilled already a dream. Like when I walked a real runway a couple times, like it was long. Like, like you see when I saw the stuff that I saw in the videos, I was like, when is this runway gonna stop? It just kept on going. I was like, oh, this is real shit. And I get to the end and came back. I was like, I got to do an Armani show. So this is like a blessing for me. I've always wanted to maybe do a billboard. I didn't get a billboard, but I got big posters in the Javits Center and a trade show. So, these things that they made me happy. So I was happy with them, and I got to do it and experience what that is.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's why I tell people don't stop dreaming, because even if, and I say your dream may change,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
but the key is just keep dreaming, because
Yes.
the minute you stop, then kind of people are making choices for you, which we're all for people supporting us and nothing against people like that. But then the world's not really responding to you. You're kind of now responding to the world. You're like, all right, well, I'll just take this thing at the deli.
Right.
Okay, I'll just do that. But when you're like you had a taste of like, wow, I'm gonna step
Yeah.
out the box. Or
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'm not gonna follow the script, or maybe like you looked it up. You could probably look up choreographer back then. It probably wasn't even on Google with like a sure number. Like, okay, well, I'm gonna be a choreographer because I know it's gonna get me this.
Right.
You just
I just did it.
You were dreaming, and then by dreaming, I always say you may want to be an actor, but you may end up loving being a lighting.
And right, being the behind stage, right?
Like
Doing lighting, sound, engineer. Yeah.
That's why I tell like, okay, you want to write, just write.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's okay to go to school, but if you're not writing, and then you just racked up 200 G's in debt, like, did you really want it? Like, go out and dream, do something on a grassroots level for
Yes.
next to nothing, and that's what you did, bro. You literally just kept flipping it.
Flipping it is the best word.
And you didn't stop.
Non-stop.
No matter what happened, you had you next to nothing, and you went back. You turned the zero back into 600, and that turned that into a lifetime.
Oh, yeah. God bless me a million folds. That $600 went a long way.
Yeah, right now, bro, you probably wouldn't even have been able. You wouldn't have even been able to get on a flight, but
right. You know what's so crazy too, D? That back then the pesetas, the euro wasn't even out yet.
Wow.
So I was there for the change into the euro in Europe.
Wow.
Yeah, they had these other kind of coins that were called pesetas.
That's so cool, man, and that it's just so dope to talk to someone who's dedicated their life to an art form, and here you are.
Yeah,
and it's just so cool too, because you just dropped the new the merch, and I really love the. I'm gonna pull it up real quick.
What part? What you up in here?
It's an art to live off your art.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's my new John. Yeah.
I just love it because it really is an art. I completely feel you, because that's how I live. And it really is an art to live off, because you got to be creative. You got to constantly be learning.
Yeah, man. And you know what's so crazy, D? That came up in a conversation. I said those words. Like, it wasn't like I thought about, oh, this is going to be fire. It happened naturally. It happened naturally in a conversation with my friend. Like, my friend, a childhood friend, he's always like, so what you going to do after dance? He was always that guy. He went into corrections, right? He did his thing, and that's what his family kind of did. I'm like, I'm doing this. Like, you know, he's never really for the arts. He's just about, like, you know, I guess what they condition you to be, which is a worker.
Yeah.
And I'm not a worker. I can work. I'll do whatever I need to do to get it done, but I'm not a worker. I know I'm a boss.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a creative. I'll say that even, you know,
yeah.
And I found that. And once I understood that, I even hang on to that more, and I believe it even more. And even in the roughest times, you know?
Yeah, man. And it's interesting, because after growing up, you know, I've chosen pretty much a very similar path, not in the same field, but like pursuing
the media.
Doing stuff in arts. Like right now, this is just something I do for self-help.
Okay.
And like healing and just talking. There's no dollar sign that appears in my pocket because of this. This is like a personal thing that I like truly enjoy, just hearing about your dreams. But like my merch and all that, like that's its own machine. But I shout out everyone, like people that have, like, I have sanitation worker friends, FDNY.
Everything.
Like my dad, who's a teacher, but then he's also a musician too. So like he kind of chose like the double path of like, all right, well, I'm gonna get the job, but it's still related to my path. But then I'm gonna be a musician from 7 to midnight on Broadway.
What kind of instrument you play?
So
you rap or?
Well, my father.
Oh, your father. I thought you also did. Oh, okay.
So I started off rapping, and that was like my first dream. And that was kind of my modeling, like your modeling. That was my modeling, which was rapping.
Right.
It was the start of my dreaming that led me to the merch, and being a designer and a creative director.
Right.
So we had a similar. I kind of
same way. Kind of stumbled on to the next thing which was probably what you were really supposed to be doing.
Yeah, and it's so cool because now I'm a fan of the music, and I love it even more now because I'm not in a competitive space of it.
Right.
I'm truly just like a consumer fan. Even though, you know, I do miss certain thrills,
right,
but I also feel that I'm walking in my purpose too.
Of course. And by the way, congratulations. I saw that you posted that you're back at the school again for they asked you back, and that's dope. I didn't know that's what you were doing. So to see that was really dope.
Yeah. So I'm very grateful. So I have it so easy. You know, I know teachers. My fiance's a teacher. She has it super hard. So,
Okay.
I saw today. I'm like, I posted one photo. I got all these props, and I'm like, I know all these teachers that don't get any props, and they don't post anything. I'm probably
And
gonna
then
post
props to
that.
all the teachers then.
Yeah, yeah. I felt bad. I'm like, I hardly teach, and I teach like 1 hour a week, and I'm getting all these likes, and I was like, all the teachers out there deserve so much props because they can't post
Right.
all the
They
crazy
do a
stuff.
lot with a very little.
Yeah, yeah. But thank
That's a
you.
whole nother subject.
Yeah, but the teaching for me is just kind of something I love, and I'm grateful that I've been doing what I do for a while, and I've been
Yeah.
able to put some programs together where I could help kids make merch and
That's
promote
yeah, that's
their
what's
design.
up.
And it's like pretty much like a side hustle for me, but it's also a passion, and I'm grateful that it does pay some bills too. And
No, of course. Everything counts.
so yeah, there's certain schools I've been back like this one. I'm back for the fifth year. So shout out to
Uh,
PS21, Staten Island Arts.
Shout out to the island.
Yeah, but and I know I was kind of going off, but I just want to shout out the worker dudes because I learned from them to just bust ass. Like I'm like,
Hey,
all right, I'm gonna work like my boy who works on the bridges, and of course I'm not as brave as him, being
right.
10,000 feet up or whatever he is. But I'm like, I'm gonna bust my ass the way he does. I'm gonna get up at 6, come back at 7, still cook. But I'm
And
gonna
go
do
get
it.
it.
But I'm gonna do it my way. I'll maybe
Of
do
course.
printing stuff all day and designing. But if I apply that same hustle vibe, but then I'm gonna do how my dad would do or you would do is just use my creative side, but bust my ass the way my boy does on top of the bridges.
Exactly. Exactly. You know, a lot of people like, you have people too always like, oh, you don't have a real job when you're talking about dance or so on and so forth, or you're living off something else like that's not normal to them. When you hear that, I look at them like you crazy. Like, even my friend, like, after 30 years, he's like, so what you doing now? Like, I said, well, he was like, not what I'm doing now. I was like, well, look, I did the 30 years of dance. You said, what was I doing? I did that, lived off of it. Well, got my house and everything through dance. And now I'm doing my events and, I'm moving forward with that and that's flourishing and, it's still within entertainment. So like, I'm just happy. Like if I let anybody insecurities or their fears or what they think they can't do, like put that upon me, I would never do anything because you're like kind of surrounded by that, especially in this industry, because, it's like, I'm a shy exhibitionist, I'll say, right? If I'm comfortable, then I'll expose, I'll let you see what you need to see. But overall, like, a lot of these people are really insecure in this business. And I've learned even a lot in the last 10 years working with the community. There's a lot of things that I was surprised of, and sometimes you can't help somebody that not doesn't want to help themselves, or if you got like, I can't make you believe that you're dope, you know. So it's a sad thing at times, but those some of them will survive, and I've seen some of them have. I know we got kind of off and skipped over, but yeah, like it just
Yeah, no.
connects with like people putting and having these insecurities when it's just like you push that fear to the side or not even embrace it and move forward.
There's so many factors, right? It's like it could be your childhood. It could be you may have to be forced into this because
Yeah,
it's just so many factors, and it's true. But I think what you really said goes so deep, like believing in yourself and knowing that you're dope, even though
yeah,
maybe
that's
you're not at your peak in talent, but just loving yourself, right?
yes,
Like just
yes,
loving yourself and be like, yo, you're gonna
yes.
figure it out. And then and how you
Just have to
also said
believe.
the tunnel, if you apply that with the tunnel vision, like, all right, every day I'm gonna just go in on it. I'm
Hmm.
gonna chip away. I'm gonna
Hmm.
brick by brick, like Will Smith says.
Yes,
It adds up. And even if you got a job, even if there's nothing against the
at all.
worker that
Like
has a
yeah.
dream.
As long and then, there's nothing wrong with working and doing normal stuff also and do what you do. What I say normal stuff because like it's rough. Like what we do is normal. Also, it's normal to us. It's just not
Yeah,
normal to the working 9 to 5 person that has to be the monotony of one place or not. Just being in that one area and stuck and then coming home and like a regular routine, you can get stuck. I think um, that takes away what we do. Takes away the monotony of being that it is different every day. Like, you can have the ups and downs of the business of getting a gig and losing it right before it's getting ready to start or something happens and it canceled, check hasn't arrived yet. There's so many things that factor in, but you know, it can be just as stressing as a 9 to 5. But it's about how, you know, you process everything. I think if you know you can't change something, the best thing is to do is just go with the flow. You know, if I can't control it, I shouldn't be stressed over it.
Right? I know. I I must say, for me, that's easier said than done. Like, but I do, and I'm luckily that my job isn't that stressful, because I compare
Right.
myself to like what my lady goes through. I'm like, damn, like people getting jumped and people pulling out guns and knives in your school. Like, what
It's
did I do?
crazy.
I made 50 shirts today. Whoop-de-doo, Dave. Great job. But shout out to everyone out there that's going hard, busting their
Yes.
ass,
Shout out to all the workers and
whatever
everybody.
that thing is.
Yeah, no doubt.
But like you said, you put your head down, you just keep grinding it out.
Actually, I hold my head up so you can see me coming.
Real time. That's
Because I'm coming, baby.
so.
You know, it's funny. You mentioned earlier about, you know, you said the acting and stuff like that. I actually got to, I put together and I executive produced my own show on Channel 5. Like they were having this audition, right? And they were auditioning guys for like a hip hop slot in the show. So I was like, I wrote down and put together this whole content of a show and just sold the show to them, and I got it. So I got to do that, and from there, I did some episodes on a mini series and some other stuff. So I got to taste the acting too, and I'm good. I'm not good at it. I had the experience, and I got to do a couple commercials and stuff like that. This was all within that time in this growing process that you were talking about before. So it's like, you know, I could say whoever's watching this now, just go for it. Don't stop. You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. You just put the work in, you know? It might fall, you might fall on your face, but just get right back up, because it was just a beautiful experience, and I got to experience all of that.
Yeah, man. Yo, and you know, just shout out to all the lifers out there, people that, you know, have really dedicated their life to a craft. And
Yeah,
I
it's
see
hard.
I see my father, you know, I'll bring him up again, but he's 75. People look at him, they're like, he can't even be 60, but like he wakes up 6 a.m. and you hear the bassoon,
And he'll start doing the same.
like it's like he's like
That's what's up.
he's like programmed to his dream. Like
That's what's up.
he's like an army musician. Like he wakes up and he's doing his push-ups, aka his music, and like
Right.
there isn't an off day for him. And
What kind of music?
so he's classical musician,
Nice.
and
You want to have him come to the call outs?
that would be a real step out the box for him.
He come and do his thing. It's gonna be great. Well, you'll see it, and then, you know, maybe you want to spit. You might want to spit that day.
Yeah, when I come, I'll see.
If you want to.
I know I'm gonna get inspired.
You should. And then you're gonna have a fellow SIer there. You know Prima, right?
I do know Prima there.
Yeah, she will be in the building.
Sick.
She will be in the building. I hollered at her because I've always thought she was dope from when I met her years ago. And I just thought she was dope from then. And then I realized, like, wait, let me hit her up, because there's gonna be a lot of women and this one, like battlers, and she's performing, and I got poets, and I got the musician, and we're celebrating a year, like I mentioned to you in the email. But wait, we're skipping around. I'm sorry. Ask me what you want to ask me. I just started talking.
No, that's dope. So I'm excited. So let's even talk about the call out, because you're going on your 1-year anniversary.
Yes.
This episode may release after that, but anyone who wants to check out or know more about it, maybe tell us a little bit about how the
Yes.
call outs and
Well, I started the call outs during COVID. Well, it started, we got to go further back. So in 2009, I came into Light Feet. Buddha Stretch, I don't know if you know Buddha Stretch, you know, well-renowned hip-hop dancer, choreographer, creator of many things in hip-hop. And he put me on the Light Feed. He was like, check this out, because I was looking for some acts to put him into America's Got Talent. And I had an in where you didn't have to wait on that line, and you can go right in. Or yeah, America's Got Talent. And you can go right in. So I was looking for some talent. And he told me, he told me about Light Feed, and he told me to look up Kid Pat. So I look up Kid Pat and I see this. I'm like, what the hell? What's this? It's like a serious subculture of dance. And I look at it and I start seeing more videos. And when I see it there, I immediately say, this is the future of hip hop. All right, this is 2009. So I met Crybaby Cozy and Mr. YouTube. These are pioneers in light feet, and they've been in like, you know, all the Harlem videos and the shake-ins and all that other stuff in the beginning of light feet, the style of dance, which is now a technique. And you know, I learned stuff within those from 2009 to 2012, seeing what the movement is, understanding what light feet is, what it means to them, so on and so forth. Even did interviews with the kids because I was like, you guys need to have a documentary. Like I just saw all this stuff, but I was only one man that didn't know much, but I just knew that this had to be seen.
Yeah.
And so 2012 created something called the Lock-In. Crybaby Cozy gave it the name. I put everything else together. I said to him, I was like, because we were friends and everybody had an event. And I was like, well, why doesn't he have it? And so I said, look, I found a room in Harlem. I got Red Bull to sponsor. I got all this stuff. I said, listen, I'll get the room. Can you fill the room? That's where it started. So we did the Lock-In in 2012. Now moving forward, I had to give you that backstory to be able to move it forward here. So then now the pandemic hits. I'm like, wow, just shut everything down because we were just I was getting ready to put together the Crybaby Cozy story because he's just a phenomenal dancer, really, really dope. And I was like, you need to tell your story. And I got lights and all this stuff. Then COVID hits, shut down everything. So I'm like, So then thought about doing, you know, the Raw Light the Camp, because this is the camp that I had that we did in 2019, which is the first camp of its time with I had 13 light feet teachers. And original teachers, like they are from the culture, they are creators and the future and the innovators of light feet. So not somebody that learned light feet and now you're teaching it. This was just raw talent, and I'm just trying to have them get exposed to the world so it's not stolen from them, and that they know, everybody around the world knows, and anywhere in the tri-state or nationally needs to come to New York, to the Mecca, to get light feet from them. You know, I lived off teaching. I understood that this is what you need to teach this to the other side before it escapes you and they come and steal it.
Yeah.
So what happened was when the pandemic hit, I said, you know what, this can't be like, he was like, well, we're going to do it online, the camp. And then I came up with the Call Outs NYC, right? And it was like kind of comeback of the Lock-In, the original name. So I organized the 10 country battle, international. Peru, Spain, Colombia, Argentina, Canada, India was slated, Poland was slated, and a couple others. So then we did that and we started the battles. Now, the whole idea of that was to have light feet be seen, because what I did was, in the beginning, even before that, back in the days, I bought light feet, these dancers, so downtown could see them. Like, you need to see seen. Like, it was just, you would only see it around the way. Right. And I know there was some other OGs that were doing stuff overseas, but like, see it from them. I was like, you got to mix into this commercial crowd to let them see what you are. Because, you know, you got to learn how to, like, within this, nobody can deny that you want to live off what you love doing. So you want to monetize what you do. So I always say, exploit yourself instead of letting someone else exploit you. It's better you learn how to do that than somebody get you. So I'm trying to show them, and this is what I developed for them, like, so you can see what it is to work on the other side and show them what it is, like, because you guys are so dope and you are the future of hip hop. Sure enough, 10 years later, there's the boom. So after organizing the event, there was a Cry Now, you know, went our separate ways, and I created, and it's already being called the Call Outs NYC, because, you know, that's the essence of battling. Somebody calls you out. So then I changed the format and I made it what it is today. So now there's 3 rounds. There's an interpretation round. There's a call out round, which is I'll spin the bottle. If it lands on you, you'd be like, yo, Leslie, I'm grabbing, and you calling that person out. So that's even more like, what? You calling me out? That even gets the, you know, the ego and all that. That gets spicy. And then the 3rd round is a gauntlet round. The gauntlet round is for the dancer is they have to battle the dancer using their own music nonstop in 30-second sets until you tap out, or 6 to 10 minutes goes by. This is nonstop. You have 30-second breaks for that one dancer. The Gauntlet Squad are 5 members. So that's that. Now, the Gauntlet Squad, and then there's the rappers, because it's called the Call Outs NYC, Best of Both Worlds. Now, for your interpretation, you can need a round. You can have a rapper, a musician, a poet, a singer, or a beatboxer. And that they team up. So then the 2nd round is a performance round for the artist. 3rd round, gauntlet round, it's been for the rappers. I haven't had like a musician do his thing yet, or a poet, but then I have words on cue cards, and you got to flow. You got to do the rap and once you use the words, I just keep going, and the round ends when you flop.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it's been dope. I mean, if you get to see some of the footage on there, there's some rappers. Maybe you might go for the gauntlet round, baby. I don't know. What's your freestyle like?
Oh man, I'm rusty, but I can't
Yo,
wait.
you'll get in there and you'll be like, wait a minute, let me see if I can get some of this. And it's all love in the building.
Yeah,
There
I
has
can't
not
wait
been
to
any
check it
judges,
out.
and I've been doing this for free.
Wow, I can't wait to check it out.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope. So that's basically it. Like, so it's like bringing the both worlds together, hence, best of both worlds, where you can collaborate and it makes the dancer and the artist work differently than the normal battle. I'm not stepping on anybody's toes, right? So I can just go in my own lane. I am bringing just something, a content that's totally different, and it hasn't been done anywhere in the world.
It's so cool too. You can't even predict who's going and when, and it's so cool because and my friends they have a battle rap league which is on fire.
Oh, word?
Yeah, it's called iBattle. But
That's what's up.
you know who's going in, but you don't. What I love about it, you have no clue how it's gonna go. This you don't even know how it's
Exactly.
gonna go. So
And you know what, son? You find out what cats are really made of once they get in there, because you just have people watching you.
yeah,
And, there's no judges or anything, but yet you feel love in the room, and people like they're showing love. There's no animosity. There's not like, and that's the environment I like to be in. I create that space, and that's the joy of it. Because if you look at the page, like if any dancer looks at it, it's all the elite dancers from New York. So there's been a lot of love. They see it, and when they're there, it was like, this is mad fun, and that's the idea. Like, do something different. You get out a lot of aggression when you're battling, right? And especially when you're going for the money and the prize, and if you don't like somebody. But here it's like, you're going at them like, I'm going for your head, but I'm going for your head with love.
I think that's just a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
There's just so many aspects. Like I love wrestling growing up, and I just love the Royal Rumble because
Yes.
I don't know who's coming in.
Yep.
And then you have no clue what's gonna happen.
Right.
And I love stuff like that, especially when you mix hip hop and you mix dance. Well, the
Yes.
dance, of course, is hip hop, but I'm excited. And
Yeah, no, I'm glad I'm glad you're coming, right? For sure.
Yeah, you look like you're on fire for this, and it really shows. And I'm really
Yeah, no, I'm just excited about it because I see the future, and then I got like there's so many other jewels I want to tell you, but I can't drop right now, but hopefully another interview, because I'm sitting on something that I know is going to just like, oh shit, he didn't do that. So I'm just excited for what's coming. And, also what I can say is, and then your viewers will see this too, we're also going into Brick House. Brick House is owned by Kelly Peters and his partner. And it's just really dope to be able to do this because he has light feet, for instance, in his studio. And I had him as a judge in 2012. And he was like, what is this? And so to be able to, that was the whole purpose, to be able to see it, that light feet is now in the studio, and he has it in the studio, and it's in other places, and it's around the world. Now, I feel like it's already gotten stolen from the community. But the thing is that I saw something 10 years ago, that vision, and I was like, this is the future. And Lightfeet has just been global on a commercial level, underground level. It's just so dope. And I'm glad that I got to see that and be a part of it and be able to lend a hand in that and see some of those that have traveled the world like I have. And that was the whole thing. Because I say this all the time, like, I know I'm dope, but I'm trash compared to them, D. Like, I'm like, so when I see all this, I'm like, you guys got to be over here doing this. You ain't got to you don't do what I do, but you're so dope. Like, the world needs to see this. And that's always been my objective. And I think sometimes I've been told that like I had some falling out with people, and I have had people tell me like, your hustle was just too overwhelming for me. So I try to control that, because I guess I get really passionate about like, yo, but why are you not doing it? And I learned that the hard way. Like, I'm like, you know what? So now I don't say anything. I actually put a post today in Fat Joe's voice, and I was like, yesterday's help is not today's help. So, I'm still there. But like, my thing is I got to keep moving because I have a lot to do. I'm not going to abandon you, but catch up.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Of course. It's different strokes for different folks. Certain people need different kinds of love.
Yeah.
And it's not like you ever had ill intentions. It was just sometimes I could be intense for people too, because I
understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. And but then you learn from it. You're like, all right, I'm gonna approach it this way, okay, or take it or leave it, and that's just the way it is. And it's no bad blood, and it's just learning on both sides.
Yes.
I'm excited, man. You got me hyped for this. And,
That's what's up, man. I think you're really gonna enjoy it. And then we're gonna have food. You know, like I'm also like I'm making like I had actually somebody donated some food, like you know, from a restaurant. I was like, I met somebody, a friend of mine that's also helping with some decals. And I met some other people through him, and he was like, "You want?" And I just said, "Yeah, I'm going to make some food because I cook too." So I try to get my catering into certain events, and I got shut down. So I was like, "Well, I created an event, and I'll put my catering in an event." And this way, look, I do this also. So I got some crazy hot wings. My rice and bean game is up. You know, I make roast pork. I do all of that, right? Like really do it. I get down, D. So
I can't wait.
So I'm talking. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna cook too. And then the girl says, "You want me to sponsor it? I can get you some food." I was like, "Really? Like, how many people?" That's about 25, maybe 30. He said, "I got you." I'm like, "Oh, dope."
Wow.
So we're getting that catered, and I'm happy about that. But I'm also gonna be like, I'm making my hot wings, and I'm making some brownies, normal brownies.
Yeah. Wow. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I just like, you know, it's my way of giving back because I'm getting the support when these dancers come here. They're seeing, I guess they're seeing a vision too because it's different. And I'm just, and the whole thing is I'm really cultivating the talent that comes through. It's just not, it's a platform for you to be seen if you're dope. If I think you're dope, basically.
Yeah.
You know, it's my opinion on this because I'm the casting director, I guess. But I reach out to the people that are like, yeah, you should be a part of this. I would like for you to be a part of this. I think your talent is so dope. So, and the people have been gravitating to it. And, you know, it's so funny because, you know, battlers, they'll come on this autopilot sort of thing. And then I send them the format. They don't read it because when they come in, it's like, oh, I didn't know. I said, I sent you the stuff. Didn't you read it? It's like, no, I ain't read it. And so then when they get there and they do the gauntlet round, I had in the beginning Droid. It was so funny because I was like, yo, it's nonstop. Keep going. I'm like, go, get in there. I'm doing the timing and hosting at the same time. And then he was like, oh, now I get it. He was and he was being attacked by the gauntlet squad. And I was like, you got 30 seconds, Pop. He's like, oh, now I get it. And then just went in. And that was like the first one. As you can see, my excitement is I'm looking so forward to the 6th because it's a year later. And, you know, we're going to have a full house of invites only, plus the talent. And, you know, it's just dope. I'm just really excited about it. And I know where it's going.
Yeah. I'm excited for you, and I'm excited to check it out. And anyone out there who wants to check it out or learn about
IG Live, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna pull it up real quick. Just a page if anyone is on the video side of things. Let's pull it up.
Yes, it will be on the IG Live November 6th.
Oh, wait. So that's the way to catch it.
Yeah, on IG Live, yeah, because it's invite only and we're at capacity right now.
So here's the Insta. I'm gonna pull it up real quick.
At the Callouts NYC. Yes, that is it.
So be sure to follow.
Yes, please do. You can follow, and we will be on IG Live, opening the doors at 6:30. We should be, there go Prima. We should be starting by 7 because there's an event going on before mine, so I'll be setting up immediately. I'm really hyped for this one too because I'm putting decals on the floor and all of that, D.
Oh man.
Yeah, like it's a ring set up and like 4 corners that say Raw Light and my thing is like presentation is so important for everything. And and like I said, this is like I'm not getting no money from this at all. But I'm glad. But it actually was so dope. The first one, I did a fundraiser and everyone got paid. All participants and staff, everybody. Because that's the idea is like to turn this into a league. If I would hope, God willing, I get grants and stuff like that. Like, I'm doing it all.
I was about to tell you, I'll keep you in mind when because I get emails, I'll send you some info about some organizations that want to support stuff.
Oh, that would be dope.
I'll put you in touch with a few organizations and
that is
just be on the lookout when they do these grants. Because
that's so dope because if you see in the videos, I provide the uniform, like the hats, the sweatpants and the shirts, like all of that, because this is all part of like what I'm trying to do with this, and what I have the long-term goal with it. Like I see it on TV. Like I'm already there with it. So, but I'm not dropping no more, but like I just see it, D.
Yeah.
And I'm just excited about it. So it would help. And actually my program, Raw Light the Camp, because it's all part of a whole weekend of teaching and, the call outs is all together. Raw Light the Camp is actually sponsored by the New York Foundation of the Arts. They accepted my program. And
Beautiful.
I'm trying to get it. Funny. I'm trying to get it into school. We actually had Pumpkin. She's a flex dancer, and she was at a Bronx school just the other day. So there was a Royal Light the camp class there. So it's trickling little by little, but it's about the networking and new people that I need to meet and so on and so forth. And I'm trying to build a team and just build a team of like-minded people. So my daughter's my right hand man or girl, woman, and she's does all the promos, and I do the promo. She does all the flyers and the designs for the flyers and stuff like that. So she's been helping with that, and I got somebody that has helped and done some sponsorship with me. Haley Cougar, she did some of the stuff in the beginning, and she sponsored that, and that was cool. So and I got another person, intern that he's helping out, and he's just become a dope dancer within the last year. I put him in with the lines in the first one, and I was like, "Yo, show him some love. Let me know if he's trash. Let him know he's in there. He's just starting out." And now 1 year later, he's a beastie.
Wow.
And the same people that were at that are training him and have embraced him and have posted videos of look of his progress. So I think that's the whole thing. It's not even about me, it's not even a monetary value, because there's so much more gold in that. When I see that I get emotional because it's just so dope, and I didn't really have anybody to help me or guide me. I did, I know what it is to be on your own and people not like you for being different or doing what you're doing the way you're doing it, but getting it and then not understanding I'm better than him, but why is he getting it? I've seen all of that. Look, I got this, leading into this story, right? I had a person, because I just retired from dance, and I taught at BDC for 21 years. Wow. And at Broadway Dance Center, right? So there was one time there was this girl looking at my class, and now I don't hear that well now, but so I developed lip reading. So she was in the glass outside of the room, and I read her lips, and she's like, "Feliciano is whack." So I was like, "Well, if I'm whack, why are you watching my class so long?" She just folded and froze. And I took care of that after, and I was like, she shouldn't even be handling it, be at the desk handling my money. But my thing is if I was to let any of that get down, and I'm only human, of course. I would like for people to like what I do. Some people like it, some people don't. That's fine. If you like it, I always say this: if you like it, cool. If you don't, that's cool too. I'm human. If some people like what I like, wow, that's dope. I appreciate that. Thank you. But it is not gonna stop me, D. You don't like it? No way. I love what I'm doing. I like what I'm doing. Watch me, because I'm doing this.
The world is your stage, man.
Yeah,
imagine if Puff Daddy said that. Imagine, do you know how many people kind of get on him? Oh, and he's just one person, but I know a lot of people that love him, and I know a lot of people right.
But he do his thing.
But the world is his stage, and he's doing what he does, and he's put.
You either rock or you don't.
Yeah, and it doesn't affect his performance the next day. And it's all right, you got an opinion, and I love Kanye, how he says, you like something, but at least you feel something.
Yeah.
You may not love me, but at least you feel something.
Exactly.
All right, you got an opinion, but I'm going either way.
Right, exactly. And that's what you say, because I see him do something. I think it was on 105, an interview, and Charlamagne the God is like, "Well, I didn't like that other thing." He's really derogatory. It was negative. And he just smiles at him. He's like, "Amazing. That's amazing." And then goes, "Yeah, envy." And then it's just, so he shrugged him. I was like, "Bravo." It was just so dope. He's like, "Yeah, that's cool. I'm a billionaire. I could go the route of I'm a billionaire. You're not. I mean, you're trying to push buttons." And, basically he's like, "That's amazing," with a smile. And, I've been trying to, of late, even do better. I've been reading and doing some other stuff to tweak a few things in my life and understand, you got to understand people and understand the environment you're in all the same, because there are people that have done it before you and been successful. So now it's time for me to get over that next hump. That's where I see myself now, because, I'm going into 60.
What?
Yeah.
I would never have guessed. Yo. Cheers.
Yeah, man. So, I'm on that. I'm going into that half. So it's it's real. And I feel great. I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm doing what I love, and I take what comes with that. But I know that also it gets to a point where I have to do different things. So now doing this stuff, it's easy on the body. That's why I'm not dancing. I haven't danced since COVID started, and I'm so happy. I don't even want to dance. I've been asked "Hey, you want to teach this? You want to teach that?" I was like, "No, I'm good. I don't dance anymore." And I haven't officially said that I've retired. I wanted to do this farewell reel, of my favorite moments in my career. and then I'll announce. But I can tell you, yeah, I retired. It's already been going on 2 years, and I feel great, D.
And what's so cool, you're in tune with it. You know yourself, but you haven't really retired. You know what I mean? Like
Right? Yeah, no, of
your
course,
dream.
exactly.
But I understand
But I don't want to. I don't want to teach. Like I've been asked, and it's been good money too. D. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm like really, and saying that is so. It's been so empowering. Also to be able to like, nah, I did like 30 years. Like I did 30 years.
Yeah.
Like I'm good. I was at one point I was traveling 4 to 6 months out of the year. I just started staying in my house. I would say I've enjoyed my house really the last 5 years.
Wow.
Well, COVID is gone. So let's say 7 years, 5 to 7 years. So like, I'm really enjoying. I like to stay in like, because the trips, they started becoming like the plane rides started becoming like the flights were like a long cab ride.
Yeah. No, it's
You know?
growth,
Yeah.
and you've done this 3 decades.
Yeah. Shit. That sounds crazy when you hear like that. Yeah.
But that's like OG,
Yeah,
and
for real.
that's and cheers to you, man. And
Thank you, man.
and the fact that I think it's just a beautiful thing that you're in tune with your body, which of course you're a dancer, so dancers are definitely in tune, but like you're really in tune to be like, all right, well, I'm taking these steps now.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I want to keep building this legacy. I want to pave a way for new people to shine. I want to build a platform for new people to shine.
Yes.
And you're
Yes.
just constantly evolving. And
Yeah.
some people may be like, "Oh, he's stopping," but you haven't stopped. Like you said, don't stop. You're
Yeah.
just changing your shoes. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I'm in the same lane. Exactly. I'm putting on these. The other ones need lifters. They're leaning.
Yeah.
I got some fresh kicks on now.
It's liberating when you could say no.
Yeah.
Because KNOW you, and you know yourself, and you're like, all right, maybe I'm not gonna do this because I'm doing this now,
Exactly.
but
And
I
that's
could
what it
still
is
contribute
also.
to the culture.
Yeah, because I'm not laughing like when you think I'm a house dancer, I dance house. I taught hip hop all these years in choreography, but I dance house. So I have moments in my kitchen. I'll hear like on the radio on Friday to get down on Friday. So I'll be if I'm in the kitchen or I'm in the car like I'm jamming. I'm like, damn, I'd like to go to a spot. I know Tony Touch is opening up again. They started doing parties, but also the conditions. I'm like, I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
not really wanting to be around a lot of people just yet. So I'm, going through that transition too. So I can honestly say that even when this started, I felt bad for a lot of dancers because I see a lot of people losing their minds on social media, and I've already been for years in tune with my solitude, and that's been like a plus because I was like, oh, you're not ready. I was just like, just laying up, and I was just so comfortable being shut down. It was good for me. I was good.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people, it was hard for a lot of dancers, and what are you going to do now? And this, sometimes you got to make those segues. And, I'm not about going back, but I'll go on the side and sit on a chair and take a break for a minute and then continue to move forward. But I'm not going back. That's my motto. I say that to me all the time. I'm not going back.
Bro,
to myself.
That's beautiful, man. What
Yeah.
I've been saying a lot to myself probably over the last week, take your time. Because I'm always on some, I always feel like this, like 200 BPM in my mind, especially when I know I got a lot. And like, all right, go to like Tribe Called Quest, go to like 96 BPM.
And chill.
Midnight Marauders,
Yeah.
be on the 96 BPM, 92.
There you go.
Take
Right.
your time a little bit.
Take a power 89.
Yeah. And I'm all about efficiency. It's not like, sit on the couch and let life come to you. Take your time, but it's like, just take your time. Write eight goals at a time. Do them and do. I'm trying to like be more calm.
Are you a Gemini?
I'm a Aquarius.
Oh, okay. I just know about Gemini. They say this about Gemini. I'm a Gemini. I don't know anything about the signs, but I figured when I heard this, because my mind is like I'm doing this now, and I'm already working on what's coming in December.
Wow.
So like, and this is not easy because my thing is, if I'm already in something, it's already done.
Yeah.
So I work. This is it's already moving itself. I just got to continue the format of what I have to do, promote, But I'm already thinking about the next one and I'm already booking for the next one. So that's already locked. For December's already locked. So that's another. If you want to pop out to that, you'll see that there'll be a different one there, and that one the doors will be open. That'll be at actually a Brick House on December 11th.
Sick.
Yeah, I am not playing.
That's great, man. That you're it's just so great. You really know yourself. You love, and you love yourself. And I'm feeling the vibe, and you love what you do. And it's definitely goals for me to be like, yo, I want to do what I've done for 30 something years.
There you go. You will. If you want to, you will. That's what I always say.
I'm about 13, but I can't say I'm 13 all in. Yeah, like
there you go. But before you know, 30 will be here, and you're like, damn, I remember when I told Leslie. Hopefully I'll still be around to witness that.
Of course, bro. If you look this way and you're 60.
What?
No, if you're 60 now and you look this
no,
way.
I'm leaning towards 60. Don't rush me, buddy.
No,
don't rush me.
I misinterpreted. Okay.
I'm leaning into 60.
Got you.
On the other half of that.
No worries. All right, cool. My bad.
It's the same once you get in this realm, I feel. I felt like I was saying something about somebody older. You get to saying like, oh, that's why now I get it. And when you hear the youngins, I was like, all right, I get it. So to treat them differently. As far as like not how you would treat it. Like, I don't treat them like, oh, you're a youngin, you don't know. I'm like, I just like, yeah, I see it. I was there. I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
But you got to move though. It don't matter what age you are. You got to move. If you're trying to get it for real, you got to move. You got to move. This is so much. It's sad because there's just so much talent out there, D. It always comes back to that. And, I want to see my people come up. I want to see them doing well. Like there's enough out there for everybody. And, sometimes everybody wants, what's so sad is that sometimes everybody wants to chase the same crumb when there's a lot of different crumbs to go get. To say that, you know what I mean? There's a lot. Like, so everybody doesn't have to be in the same lane. Like it's about consistency and about the long dollar. And I try to teach them about the long dollar, meaning the consistent work, Yeah.
Yeah, nah, man. I think you're planting the seeds now, even if they can't see it that way right away.
Yeah.
I think it's just so good to see someone that's been doing something for their life and just be able to reach out and touch them.
Yeah.
And the learning may not appear right away, like, because maybe they're just so engulfed in the process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But like it rubs off.
Of course. Because I've seen it. I have seen it though. I must say, I've seen guys make their own clothing. I've seen guys, don't market themselves. I'm like, yo, you got a name. You should start your brand. Like, monetize that. I started later with it. And I'm like, I should have, in my prime, I should have even been doing it. But I got Doobie Jammin' has been worldwide. I sold it everywhere, and I maximized it with the workshops. And it was just crazy. And I just saw it as a side hustle. Like I got blessed and I got to do Fashion Week twice with my clothing. So, I've gotten to do it and I'm good. I never have to do it again. I got to do it. You know what I mean? And I can say I did this. And yeah, it just adds on to it. Another experience for the book to share with my kids, share with my my daughter got to see all of this and she's in marketing. And that's the sort of artistry to that also. And, she's a creative, she paints and she does that all stuff. Like I said, she does the flyers. So I'm just happy how that is and how it's come down even from my mom's, because my mom traveled the world doing mission work, and it's so funny. She got to travel the world. I traveled the world working, giving back. She gave back. My daughter travels. She's on vacation. So it's changed, but she's gotten to also travel and experience. Because I think when you see how other people live, no matter where it is, you get to understand your surroundings a lot more. That's been my experience.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah. I don't know. What else you want to know?
Yo, man, so
how much are we out of time?
No, we're not.
You sure?
I could do this for a long time to the point where someone's like, yo, Dave, I think we're
well, I got shit. I got so much stuff. I don't know what else I wanted to share with you.
I'm very inspired now. What I normally do too, what I've been doing lately, I do this game. It's called Dream On.
Mm-hmm.
My friend named it last time because I didn't even have a name for it. It's just what I do. I'm gonna throw a dream out or a question, And then all you got to do is, if something comes to your mind, the first thing that comes to your mind.
Like as far as like in a dream state?
Well, it'll be like dream related. Like if you
Okay,
could do
okay.
this,
Let's
or
see if I can handle this.
if you
All
were
right,
to
I'm already
be
under pressure. I'm shaking. I'm nervous.
that. And I just I just vibe off our combo,
Right.
and this is also a freestyle for me. I don't have these questions ready.
Okay.
So if you could go anywhere on your next trip, no budget doesn't matter, where would you go?
I'd go back to Egypt.
Sick.
Beautiful. So much history. It's amazing just to think about, like, how'd you do this? Like,
You would go back to Egypt, so you've been there.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful. There's so many answers for that question, but I'd have to say Egypt.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
If you could choreograph a music video for any artist that's living right now, what artist would you choose?
I would go with the same flow. I'd do J Balvin again because I got to debut him at the Garden, and now like he's really big. So I'd like to full circle, like, oh, I'm back again, and like know what that's like. Damn, shit. That's so. But yeah, I was gonna say something else, but there's so many experiences that I had that I like to repeat to feel that because I also did choreography for this guy Alejandro Sanz, and he's like really big. He was like fifth on sales on Warner Brothers. And he fill out stadiums. And when I placed him in this position when I staged that tour, and to feel the energy of the crowd when he came out, I was like, oh, I felt all of that from the crowd. So that feeling is irreplaceable. But I'm sorry, I digress.
No, that's beautiful. That's the whole point of this, is to take us kind of these, like these, because for me, we either create a visual when we talk about a dream because we see it, like we could imagine it, or it may take us to that place. So don't even feel bad, because that's what I love about it.
About that. Yeah.
When we think, that's what I love about it. When we talk about dreams, even a future dream or something that even if we could bring back or do new, it lights a memory of one that we've done. As you said, you're like, I would love to kind of
because I've never thought about the Garden. And when I did that gig for him and the debut there, I was like, wow, I'm in the Garden. Like I worked in the Garden, choreographed in the Garden. Like, so that was a beautiful thing that was unexpected and it was dope. And he's actually a dope guy. I actually getting ready to drop that post on a Dance Days one series that I've been doing that has to come up. But yeah, that was really dope.
That's sick. So I know you said you're not dancing at the moment, but if you could dance in any stage in any place in the world, where would you go? Where would you perform?
Performing wise, to be honest with you, I would only want to just dance in the club. And not even like, I just want to dance in the club into house music. Like I would want to be back. I would want to be back in the 80s.
I love it.
I would want to be back in the 80s dancing in the club. And I'd like to see Broadway look eclectic like it did then, and see unique and not see everybody look the same from 14th Street to Canal. Like, I was just saying that the other day. But I would like to do that. There's no real stage, like, because I'm not a dancer, so I don't aspire that way. So, but I would say I would want to be in my club environment. Like, I would like to experience my club environment again.
Yeah. Like you could go to time and just
exactly. I'd go to the World. Like, I worked in Tower, there used to be the Tower Records that was right on 4th and Broadway. And we used to do security there. And when we would finish, we would go pick up some Dos Equis beers from the bodega, then walk to Alphabet City and go to the World. And right around the corner from there was the Loft. And in the middle of that was Save the Robots. And we used to just party. And it was just so fun. It was just fun. I worked and it was great because I had my own place since I was 18. So, it was just doing all of that. I would like to repeat that era. Yeah. That would be the stage in the club with some baby powder.
That's sick. So if you could live somewhere.
If I can what?
I know, live, like just say.
Oh, live.
You like how you went to Spain.
Yes.
You could go somewhere and live for a year, wherever. The budget didn't affect you. Like,
right.
You're just good to go. Where would you go?
I would go. I've just been saying how I miss the Spanish food, and I went to 34th Street to Little Spain. It was like tortilla de patata with with potato. It's like a potato omelet with potato chips. I'm like, that's so disrespectful to the country. I don't know, but I did say I wanted to buy a house in Aruba when I went to Aruba. It was beautiful. But I would say back to Madrid, back to Spain.
Nice.
Yeah, I would say back to Spain.
That's
I had a great time. It's 10 years. I did 10 years. I did 10 months out of the year for 10 years because I would come back July and August, summer, September. So I did 10 years, 10 months out of the year for 10 years.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, Madrid. I'd go back to Spain.
If you could have a conversation with someone that you didn't meet, or maybe you did meet, but that person is now no longer living with us in the physical, you could have a convo with anyone.
Yeah. Wow. I can't. Who that's not living? You know what? I would love to, and I only just recently got into him, but Baldwin. I was watching, I watched the documentary. I think when it came out, it was about a year and a half ago when it came out, and I just saw some clips of him. And I would just like to pick his brain on, understand, like, because I see what he says, and I feel like a lot of times about like, what we're subjected to as a people, but yet there's so many things that can be done also. Like there's such a fine line there, and I see that in him as he advocates for Black and brown people. But then also the other side of like, yo, we know that also as a people, we need to step up, Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So that's what I feel. That's the thing, And I try to say I'm not into politics. I don't watch the news often because I just feel it's like telling me about another dead body a different day. And so, when I'm in the car, I'll catch NPR. I get updated and find out what's going on, but it's just the same revolving BS. Yeah. So, it becomes like, you know what? I'm focused here. I'll notice how I'm making money if the economy is getting better or not, and I'll know offhand, like hand to hand. And, when I get to that point, we'll get there. I like to know what's going on, but sometimes I feel like I even hear like listening to my brother, like he's on the conspiracy theories and this and that. I'm like, yo, but you could be doing so much more. Like the same way that you put all that energy into knowing all of that, put that into yourself. And that, my people, put it in yourself. You know about the gossip, you know about this, you know about that. And it's good to be informed and be informative, but shit, put that into yourself. And then you're not talking about what somebody else is doing. You're talking about what you're doing.
It always reminds me of the scene in Bronx Tale where Sonny's like, is Mickey Mantle paying your bills?
Is what?
No, because then there's a scene in Bronx Tale.
Uh-huh.
Father's like, is Mickey Mantle paying? No, Sonny.
Paying the rent.
He says to Calogero, he's like,
yeah,
is Mickey Mantle paying my bills?
Right. And he's so excited about seeing him or yeah, exactly. About the ball game. And that's it. Like, I respect that. Like, I respect all that. Somebody asked me who you admire. I admire a lot of people, but that's them. Like, my thing is like, I say, I like, don't worry about what's in somebody else's pockets. That's how I say it. Worry about what's in your own pockets. And I admire that. That should give me fuel to inspire me. I like to be inspired. Like, bro, you did that? Let's go. Or if I see something and I think like, we all have an opinion on something. I'll be like, I look at it, not that they suck, but I'll be like, I know I'm going to get mine. I know I'm going to get mine, and everybody got their lane. Like, I don't knock nobody's hustle. I don't knock nothing. As long as it doesn't conflict with mine, we good.
No, that's what I see.
I'm sorry, I digressed. All right, what's the next one?
No, those are all great. That's the whole point of this, because it's really to just like tap in and then feel emotions about things.
Yeah.
Because I think dreams are just so important too. Just talking to them, because as you tell me this, it plants a seed in my mind where if you're like, oh, I want to do this, or you told me something about the grants.
Yeah.
Now when I'm out, now when I'm out in the wild world and I see something,
you'd be like, oh, wait a minute.
I'd be like, yo, bro, check this. So that's why I always encourage my friends and my people, or just anyone, just to share your dreams with others. And you may be met with someone being like, yeah, that's crazy. But then you build resilience if it's really important. Or it shows your true colors if you can let that person opinion overshadow your want for that dream.
Exactly. Or yeah, the purpose that you actually striving for. Yeah, I've like, I learned a lot. Like last 10 years, I learned a lot, D. I learned the hard way, but it's all right. You know, I'd rather have the scars than somebody tell me about it. Like, you know, sometimes it's just holes you got to walk into. You got to feel them. Like I've walked around a lot of them, seeing others and be like, I'm gonna walk around. But there's just some of them that you have to feel. I say that for others and I say it for myself. And I also pull my coat, like, you know, don't, like, sometimes don't get gas, you know, relax. And I pull my own coat and say, chill, Leslie, chill, you know, and then I stay the course. So, excuse me, that helps for me because, you know, sometimes I start feeling myself. I ain't gonna lie. Like, you know, I'm human. I'm like, yeah. And I feel proud about that. And I feel proud about the things that I do. And it's confidence. I'm not conceited or, you know, I don't throw things in people's face. I don't do that kind of stuff. I barely talk about myself, to be honest with you. I just recently dropped some stuff just for knowledge, but I'm always talking about what you can do because I already know what I can do. I don't need to say it out loud. I don't need to let nobody, you can see the work for itself and you either want to rock with it or not, but you see it. And I do talk because I'm always trying to just inspire. But you know, the thing I've learned that, you know, especially in our community, a lot of people don't want to hear that. It rubs some people the wrong way. I've had it happen. So understanding that, I'm like, all right, cool. So there's a lot of things that have changed and it's all right. Like, you know, and I'm still here and I'm still going to try to get work. And I don't care about likes. I don't care about shares. If you do, cool, of course. Like, you know, it all helps in that aspect of the business. But I study all that just for marketing purposes to see how I put out, not for self-gratification. You know, like the event is starting to bubble and we're starting to get more followers and you see people starting to ask that they want to be part of the call outs. So I see the growth because it's already, the work is being put in, not because I'm talking, you know, so yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm starting to see that too with age or just maybe wisdom or just experience or, you know, life experiences.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest wins lately, no one even knows, you know, and I'm,
You know,
and I've been testing myself to be like, all right, Dave, you could win and no one needs to know. And as long as you feel inside that you're winning,
yeah,
and even if you lose too, it's
yeah,
not it, you know, and it's
it's all
cool.
part of the same process.
It's cool kind of being like keeping some stuff to yourself or within your family circle
Yeah,
and inside your house. And but then
yeah.
it's also cool to spread good love too. So there's like this
Mhm.
weird there's this cool balance of it, which is
Yeah,
really
I've been noticing. I'll just post a smile. I'll just post a smile. That helps me get it all because, you know, I like to share, but sharing is not for everyone. Like to your point that you just said, it's just like, and it's sad that because, you know, it you know, you want to be able to be like, hey, look, this is what's going on, and like try to put somebody on. And you know, I realized too, like you can't even really put friends on either because then there's a certain animosity that might come out behind it. So like, you know, I'm learning all these new things because I'm feeling and I'm seeing different things, and there's stuff that I've seen that I've done, the people that were close to me have done, and I haven't said anything, and I just see it and I'm like, all right, now I know how to act accordingly because I'm really trying to keep the emotional part in check, you know, and put that to the side. And then it's just like, all right, this is what it is for face value. DMX said, I don't know if you saw this. He's like, you know, you can always count on a person be doing what they're going to do, be who they're going to be. So if he's a thief, he's a liar, or whatever it is, you can always count on them to be that. So, you know, it's like that made so much sense in the simplest form. And I'm like, all right, well, there you go. You know?
that's
Yeah.
tough, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love playing this game because it's like it just I've been doing it lately on the episodes and it's just so memorable to me because you really it
And a lot of,
triggers these other ideas and feelings, which is I'm all about.
yeah. And
Yeah,
then, you know, you get to know me. This is the first time we ever talked this long.
it's true. It's true.
And
That's what I love about
it's
this
definitely in
podcast.
Dumbo. It was a hip hop event. It's definitely in Dumbo.
That's what I love about this podcast too, because I work alone mostly all day. I'm in my
Yeah.
studio, and then I come home and I'm kind of on fire to talk about things, but some people are working,
Right.
and it's tough to unload. But what's cool about this, we're all dreaming in kind of in like our bubble, but then it's
Right.
cool to kind of just let go a little bit, share it,
because you're like-minded in a like-minded environment.
Yeah.
That's
So
what's up.
this podcast really saved me a lot. Many people have helped and saved me, but this podcast was very healing for me during the pandemic. To
Dope.
just have an hour with someone of undivided talking, it's like a very healing thing. And I think
Yeah.
I encourage it to anyone to just, let's not let the phone go out of style in terms of, like, phones are always going to be in style, but picking
Right.
up the phone, let's not let that go out of style. And
Yeah.
there shouldn't be a reason to call someone, because I call people out of the blue and they're like, "Hey, bro, are you okay? Like, what do you need?" And I'm like,
Right.
"I actually don't need anything. I just wanted to
That's
say
cool.
hi to you." But it's cool.
I got a couple calls like that one time, and I was surprised on the person, and he's like, "Yeah," he's like, "It's just a random call." I was like, "Oh, all right. Hey, what's up? What you been? How you been? You been all right?" You know.
Yeah. It's like it's almost becoming this weird thing now. Like, what? They're calling me out of the blue? Like, how come they didn't text me?
Yeah, like what you need? Like what? You don't talk to me. Like, what's up?
And I'll admit it, I was guilty of people calling me, and I was like, "Oh, why are they calling me? Like, they could
Right.
just text me that." And I'm like, "Oh, wait." And like, I think COVID, I probably got more in my feelings, and I'm already in my feelings. Not to put myself out there, but I like talking to people about things.
Yeah.
I like not venting, but kind of getting things off my
Sharing.
chest and sharing. Yeah.
Sharing. And it's funny you say venting, because sometimes I'll be like, "Yo, I need to vent," and I keep it a buck because I think that's fair and it's considered, because the person has a trip like, "Yo, right now I'm not gonna be able to give you my full attention." So give me the short version or call me back later. I'd rather be honest about that, because that happens sometimes. But yeah, I'm the same way. I like to share and to be able to have, be able to converse with somebody, especially like you said. Sometimes you find yourself not alienating, but like, if you're not around the like-minded people, like I have no problem staying by myself. It makes no sense to me to be around just to be around,
Yeah.
or to talk just to talk, other than like, if you're catching up with someone, but not in that sense. I can't.
Yeah. I feel that.
It's not, I feel like it's not productive on any level, you
Yeah.
know? So, yeah. So what's the next question?
So, bro, I feel pretty inspired already. I think that last one where we talked about who you would talk to, I'm
Yeah.
pretty fulfilled. Yeah. That was just really dope to play that game with you, and really hear, some of your dreams,
Yeah, man, I appreciate
and
it.
basically hear about how you've been dreaming in real life for the last 30 something years and really dedicating yourself.
I've been, because I got a book of dreams. It's funny you say that. I have a dictionary. It's a book of dreams that I got. And it's so dope because when I do remember a dream, in the middle of the night, I'll write down and scribble. So this way I'll go back to sleep and try to figure out what I scribbled and then look up whatever it might be, the key words and stuff like that. And there's been a lot of stuff like I'm making moves that it all comes out to saying like it's going to be successful, or be careful, you got somebody's in your trying to bring harm to you. So it's just funny how this is. And some of those dreams kind of manifested themselves. It's crazy. But you know what's crazy? Without even naming names, like some people just really outright was doing some nonsense stuff, and I'm not even doing anything there. I have an event. I'm not doing nothing similar to this. And I caught something that was just really, you could see it was with malice intent. And then all of a sudden they had some stuff happen to them and the event just stopped.
Wow.
And I don't know what it is, the reasons and other stuff that was brought to my attention. I was like, God don't like ugly. I don't know if it had anything to do with me. Like we all suffer some kind of karma. I might be suffering my own karma. I might be suffering somebody else's karma. It depends how that is. So, when I see that, I really, it just reiterates how I feel about the universe and how I'm connected to it. And like, it'll take, and I believe in God and the spirituality of all of it. I don't believe in the actual church and religion, but I believe in what I believe in and how I'm connected to it. Does he exist or not exist? So I don't know. I have no idea if it exists or not, but I choose to believe, and it's all about a choice. Some people might say, good luck. I say, I wish you success. I don't believe in luck, but I believe in God. So it's about how you're phrasing it. But I'm definitely in tune with the universe and the energy that it bestows upon me, especially when I put something and speak something out into existence and then watch it manifest itself. It's just crazy, D. How could you not believe in it? When you feel it personally. I don't know if you've had this experience yourself with the universe or how you're connected to your spirituality, if at all, but it's just a beautiful thing for me.
No, I'm definitely someone of faith. it's been a journey for me,
Hey,
and I plan to stay on the journey.
there you go. And there you go.
Yeah, so it's just, bro, it's just so awesome to hear about everything that you've been through, and from the story to going to Spain with 600 to now, stepping into new roles
Yeah.
of your dream and passion, bro. It's very inspiring.
Yeah, I hope when you see the event, you're like, I hope you're like, you being sincere too. You be like, yo, Les, this is some BS right here. I don't even know why you invited me to this nonsense. You're gonna have a great time. It's really dope.
I can feel your vibe, the fact you're so hype about it, and
Yeah. And then I'm hyped. Like what you're feeling also is that I know what's coming.
yeah,
I'm excited about the year celebration, but I know what's coming, and I'm excited about what I'm getting ready to drop. But I got a question for you, D.
yeah.
How'd you get Dave Noodlez? What's the noodles from? What's that about?
It's very simple. My last name, Noodleman.
Ah,
And
okay.
so
That's
I
fire.
was in band class, sixth or seventh grade, and the teacher would be like, "Mr. Noodleman," and they'd be like, "Noodles," and then it just kind of became this thing, and then I just embraced it. And this was before Google. I was like, I think this was during
Fire
AOL.
though.
I didn't even think of, oh, if people Google it with a Z, it's gonna work better. It actually did,
Right.
but it was because of like AOL. I think the S was taken or something, so I
Okay.
put the Z, and then it's just been rocking ever since. And
It's fire. It's fire. I
yeah,
thought it was some coming to America. I thought it was a Once Upon a Time in America joint,
yeah.
which is
So
a fire
that's
movie.
I know. It's so funny because him and I are like different characters for real. But a few people brought that up, like, hey, that even relates. But I'm like,
Oh,
no,
did they?
it stemmed from my last name, and it's just like
Okay,
a
I
flip
never did.
on
I was
that.
wondering, like, where you get the noodles from? Maybe you ate noodles or ramen, or I don't know what it could possibly be. But that's perfect though.
I'm a big pasta dude, but it had nothing to do with that. Uh, so I probably am what I eat, definitely, because I eat a lot of pasta. But
Uh,
yeah, that's how it all started.
well, that's what's up, man. All right, cool, man. So, how you want to end this? Are you summarizing? You want a final question? You want to?
So
I need.
yeah,
Now my stomach is starting to kick in. I'm getting
no, of
hungry.
course. So yeah, we could just end it on this note. For anyone out there that has a dream, maybe they're starting or maybe they're going through something, what would be your last bit of advice for them?
I tell them, like, I say this to everyone, like, you just have to believe. It starts in believing. Once you believe, everything else comes together one way or another. You're going to find it. But if you don't believe it, nobody else is going to believe it. And for somebody to actually invest in you or see you, they got to see that you believe it. Just got to believe. That's I always say that, and put the work in. Like I just saying this in closing. Like sometimes I speak and there's things that are for me that are given that I don't have to say. But I notice also I'm around people, but they'll say like blah, and I'll be like, that's a given for me. That's why I don't speak on it. But of course, you got to put in all the work that comes with it. But the key thing is to believe. You got to really believe it, and not believe the hype, not to believe that you're trying to convince someone else what you're doing, but actually you believe it, and you don't care if they believe you or not. That's it. Like I'll end on this note. Even my daughter, we did the bathroom. My daughter didn't see it, or she doesn't see things sometimes. I see the vision. I see it. And she said, Daddy, I don't know about this. I don't think this is gonna work. I said, I'm telling you, watch. She was like, wow, the bathroom looks great, Daddy. I said, and you ain't see it. Right. And it's the same thing. I'll see some of vision on, and she's so smart. She's so good with her money. And she's good, like with handling things. And she's so smart. But I'm that creative. Like I believe in him. Let's go. We're gonna find out. And any bumps along the road, we're gonna chisel them out and we're gonna smooth it out and we're gonna do that. And that's how kind of the call out. So it's kind of bumpy at first, and I figured it out and I just flipped it. And because you got to keep it moving. Like how you said you got to keep going, and you're like, I feel like I'm not doing it. It's like, that's it. We got to make a move. I'm not gonna sit on this and be stumped and be like, so now what? No, this is what's now what. You think, take a moment and go, So that time you were talking about does exist. You take that moment and you got to keep it pushing. So to everyone that's out there, believe in what you want to do, you can do it. If you believe it, you can do it, and you'll maybe adjust some things along the way, but that comes with it. That's life. And thank you for listening.
Yo, man, thank you.
No,
These
thank you.
combos really help me, and they're very healing. And it was just amazing to hear your story. And I just look forward to watching you continue to evolve. And cheers to another 30 years of, doing what you love. And,
Thank you. I hope in 6 months we'll grow and I could talk to you again about a bunch of new stuff, or you'll see and you're like, he said something was coming. Bam.
yeah, you're always welcome back to the show.
I'd love to.
And it was just a great experience having you here, bro. And I wish you nothing but the best on all your journeys and your paths and dreams.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And to all your listeners and followers, thank you. And I'll see you on November 6th on IG Live from 6:30 to 10:30. And also December 11th at Brick House. It'll be as of 6:30, 7 o'clock. December 11th. That's definitely going down. Well, as of today, it is. Anything could happen. But just keep believing, keep it up. And thank you, D. I'll see you November 6th, my brother.
Yes. So everyone out there, remember, we've been dreaming for the evening, but you got to keep going. And, my boy dropped plenty of gems for you. A lot of them I would drop bombs on and just keep replaying. You could probably just cut up this into like a motivational audio book.
A lot of talking. You're going to have to edit a lot of that.
But remember, make sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Find me, the Dave Noodlez, on YouTube.
That.
You can meet dreamers from all around the world that are turning their dreams into reality. And make sure to follow my guy, Leslie Feliciano. Check out the call outs, the camp.
Check out Raw Like the Camp. At the call outs is our battle format. Raw Like the Camp is the dance camp. You got Leslie Feliciano if you want to see my personal stuff and some of my career stuff. And then we got the clothing. It's Doobie Jamming. Latest top is it's an art to live off the arts. You can pick that up. Hoodies and sweatpants coming out next week. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it.
My brother, I'll be seeing you soon, and have a great evening.
Yes, you will. You have a better one, my brother, and stay safe out there, all right?
You too. You
Peace.
too.